Hello again, Steve Malmgren, Senior Director of Architecture, MAS200, MAS200. Welcome to the final session of the Customizer demos. What we're going to do in this one is show you how to use the utilities to create a Customizer export routine. So what I'm going to do is take all of the demos that we did on the previous 7 sessions and go ahead and package those up and make them available to you as well, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. So underneath Custom Office we have this Utilities menu, and I'm going to choose the Customizer Export Wizard. So this will just step you through all the phases you need to do to go ahead and package up your customizations from your office and send them out to a customer. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a name. I'm going to call it Insights, since that's what drove all of this. And this is the directory where it's going to place this. The default is the current MAS200 installation that you're working on. Underneath this Customizer directory, there's an export directory, which is where it's going to put this. You can obviously change this to wherever you want it to go. And I'm going to go ahead and say import this in. Import for all users, company ABC. And what's important here is if you're doing some customizations where you're doing it for customization groups, so you've got one set of screens for, say, the sales order clerks and another for the sales order supervisors, what you're going to need to do is create 2 different Customizer export routines. In this example, I'm just going to shove everything into one, but what you'd want to do is for each of those, you'd supply different directions, and this will show up when you actually do the Customizer import. You'll see these instructions. And then for the specific group or user codes for the supervisors, and another for the clerks. Anyway, you can go ahead and put a password on this. I'm not going to because I don't want phone calls. And then it'll confirm password, and that way you can send these out. So if you're interested in protecting them, you can do that and just give out the password to those people that you supplied it to. I'm going to go ahead and hit next on the wizard here, and the first thing this is going to ask me to do is do I want to include customized tasks in the export file. And what that means is all of the screen definitions that have been changed. So Customizer goes through and searches the current installation for all customized forms. And if I go ahead and expand the tree, or I can also sort by user and company, but let me just expand the tree and I'll show you what we got here. So underneath accounts payable, I've got customer maintenance, we've got the invoice data entry and history under AR. And so the reason you can sort these, and if I had multiple ones, I mean, here you see I've got all user, all companies for customer maintenance, and I have all users, company ABC for invoice data entry and invoice history. So I could have easily had customer maintenance for all companies and then another one for a specific group of users or something like that. So here's where you would choose which version of that screen. And if there were a conflict, you'd only be allowed to pick one of them. So something to note. So if you have set up multiple different screens for different groups of users, here's your chance to say which one you want to include in this particular export. I'm going to include all of them. Next is, do I want to include user-defined fields and tables in the export? And so that went through and found every single screen, and this is real time, by the way, I'm not pausing. Files, either standard MAS91s plus the user-defined tables that we put together for this demo. And I have the one system table down here for the territory that we did in the one of the previous examples. So I'm going to include all of those. And now, well, actually, let me back up real quick. I can expand that, I believe, one more level. Yeah, that'll get down to the individual column level, so you can really pick and choose which columns. Although I would suggest if you're doing schema changes that you'd want to do those on an installation by installation basis. And you don't want to have to figure out and remember, well, did I map that to another UDF or not? You want to make sure that all those schema ones are available for all users in all companies. Okay, if I hit next here, now here's for any of the UDTs, it's going to say, do I want to add this to the user-defined table maintenance? Do I want to add it to the desktop as a task? So I'm going to go ahead and hit on all of these. One thing you notice down here on the system table is we also allow you to export the user-defined table data. So if you want to set up the data for that system-wide table, like we do for sales tax and zip codes, or actually we don't for sales tax, but for zip codes, you can go ahead and maintain that as your office and ship the data out as well. So I'm gonna choose all of these. So once you install this, what you're going to have is all of these user-defined table maintenance tasks on the menu, as well as the data populated for this territory table. Okay. Next is, do I want to include advanced field settings? And these are the ones I did here. So I had an order status where I believe I defaulted that to on hold, and for the customer type, we had some default information as well. Or actually, I think that's where we validated that customer type against the user-defined table. Okay. Next is, do I want to include crystal reports? So this finds the general ledger detail report that I modified, as well as the sales order report. So you can choose to do, even though I just modified, I believe, one of them, what Report Manager does is moves all of those over to the appropriate directory. So, so you can pick and choose which ones you send. I'm just going to go ahead and send them all. And how about some Business Insights Explorer views? So these are all the different Explorer views that we did. We got the job ledger that I had from the demo where we did the project codes. We got the customer survey date. Not sure, don't remember that one. But these are all the BIE views that we did. And then here I can say, do I want to set, let's do new customer sales analysis. Or customer sales analysis, sorry, and say that's going to be the default one. But that's totally up to you. You can, if you do that, what will happen is it'll be the default view. The customer doesn't have to worry about choosing it from the Dropbox, and have the standard one that ships out of the box be the default. So that just allows you to, if there's a standard one that you set, you can only choose one of these. You can't say these are all default. You get a little error. You can only choose one. Okay, but that's essentially what we're allowing you to do here. The next here, and then here I was going to say, do I want to include additional files in the export? And I'm going to go ahead and say yes to that, because what I want to grab is all those scripts that I did. So I go over to the script directory, and let's grab, let's see, MA, the promo apply, the email contract, the insights one. This little link text, I believe, was the first try of the insights one. I'll give you that guy. Show driver directions, that was the mass ship. Show contract, and the territory history. So those are all the scripts that we did. I think we got them all. I'll include that one as well. And so, whoops, actually, let me go back one more thing. What I also did was I included, or what I did was I zipped up MAS ABC demo data. So I'm going to go ahead and include that as well. So after you install this and get the schema up to date, go ahead and unzip the MAS ABC zip file, and that will have all the data already populated, so the territory, so it can, it'll help you demo the product a little better. Okay, so I can go ahead and do a wizard listing just to see everything. It also shows in this list box here of all the customized tasks, the UDFs, UDTs, everything that it's going to do. So I'm going to hit the finish button here. And basically that's done. So what that did is if I go now to explore to my export directory, here's my insights.m4x. It's a little over 2 megabytes, and most of that's probably because of the ABC demo data that I zipped up. But that little M4X file you can go ahead and send off in an email. And then what you do to import it, so if I had a brand new install, which unfortunately I don't, but I'm going to go into the import wizard. and I'm not actually going to do this, but this is how you do it on the other side. You search for the file. So obviously if you copied this over to some temp directory, you'd want to browse to that directory. But I'm going to go through, this basically shows everything that's on this. Okay. Here's my little instructions. Now if I hit next here, it's going to ask me which user and company. So I may want to just say ABC. And then here, what's going to, because I'm doing this on the installation where I created it, it's going to report all these conflicts. On a brand new clean installation, this would be skipped. So I'm going to kind of stop right here, but what you do is next until you hit the finish button, and then the finish button would take all that information and go ahead and update all the dictionaries and bring over the UDTs and everything. So all you need to do. So it is important to know when you install this, it's a single user function, so you can't have people in the system because we are actually modifying schema. So it needs access to the customer table to add those UDFs to the customer table. So you need to make sure people are out of the system when you install this. Other than that, that truly does complete this demo. I'm about 4 days late. I apologize for that, but have fun with this stuff. And really, I hope this all gets your juices flowing and gets you to the point where you can really custom tailor a demo for each prospect. You know, figure out what their pain points are, what types of things they need to do, because there's quite a bit that you can do just with Customizer, user-defined fields, user-defined tables, and BIE. Thank you.